Gentlemen.
Pressure makes diamonds or coal.
Gentlemen.
Diamonds are coal, yeah.
Gentlemen.
Pressure makes diamonds or coal.
Gentlemen.
Diamonds are coal, yeah. It's just two dudes being gents talking sports.
That's what I love about Wyatt. He can talk himself into it.
Welcome in to episode 64 of Two Gents Talking Sports and Shit. Here we are after a wonderful first weekend, opening weekend of NBA playoff basketball. Just, everything we hope to see besides like 6 of the 8 games.
Except for a touchdown. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the first round, but at the same time, the play-in, we need to work this out a different way so there's not teams like Memphis playing teams like OKC. It's getting blown out by 50. I'm pretty sure, like, Ja Morant afterwards, have you ever seen where Peter Griffin takes the shotgun and he's like, I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I felt like that was him after the game, and, like, his coach was trying to stop him from going into the other locker room. So,
yep.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, that series I think is kind of like,
or how about it's best of 3, or no, first to 3, best of 5.
I think if you win, somebody said if you win by like 50, you probably deserve 2 wins, or you should just like end the series.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. If you win by 50 the first game, then it's just over.
I will ask a quick question. Did you feel that SGA's lack of importance in that game proved anything about the MVP? Or do you care because he's playing such a mediocre team that it's like, no big deal, whatever. Jokic is having to give everything he has against the Clippers. It's not the same thing. Okay, cool. Just wondering. All right, so second, now I guess we'll talk real quick about the 2 number 1 and number 2 seeds in the East. You got Cleveland, took care of business. Ty Jerome, I called it, texted you on Saturday at noon or 12:36. I have the screenshots that say, hey, watch out for Ty Jerome in the Cleveland game. Did I not?
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
I do.
He scored 20. He scored 17 out of 20 at one point in the fourth quarter for them.
Damn.
They were important buckets, like you said.
He balling now.
But his per 36 and everything, if you looked at his, I mean, he was in the running for 6th man of the year. He's had a great season, and he is an absolute killer, especially at home with them. So we're not worried about them. I think they'll be just fine against the Heat. The Heat just don't have enough, right?
Yeah, they just got Bam and Hero.
And Hero looked bad.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. He draws probably the best defender. Definitely the best perimeter defender. So he's doing fine. I mean, he's holding up a lot better than I thought he would. Without like Jimmy Butler and a better surrounding cast.
He's like a little, he's like, I'm trying to think of who I would put him as. He's like a modern day, kind of tries to be like a Mark Price. Mark Price was better than him, so nobody go out on a limb and try to talk shit. I know who Mark Price was. I wouldn't compare it if I didn't. But
I think he learned a lot this year, though. But
he did. He learned how to be the man, which is cool. You have to.
Anyways, that's over.
That's over. All right. And the Celtics series against Orlando. Orlando just doesn't have enough.
Do they play it? They don't play tonight.
No. They play tomorrow. But that I'm paying attention. I told you to Tatum and Brown shooting. They went 14 for 36 in game 1, and they still kind of just blew them out because Derek White and Drew Holiday and everybody else was so good. They just don't really need to be. And that was the thing you said when we talked about Danny Ainge drafting. You said that those 2 might not even be, who we think they are. They've needed a lot of help. So that's why it's going to be tough. Ryan Russillo was talking about it's tough to call the best player in the world, and Jason Tatum can probably never be the best player in the world because of what's around him and his shooting and all that kind of stuff. He's never had to like just straight carry a team.
Yeah. I mean, we hope he's good. America needs him to be good because
it's unfortunate that the point is Jason Tatum can't ever be good because his general manager built him a really good roster.
You like that?
I mean, that's kind of what we're saying, right?
I don't know if he has certain intangibles in order to be the best player in the world, but
I don't think we'll ever know. But that's the point. I'm not saying that he ever will be, and I agree. I'm not going to be defending him. I'm just saying it's interesting that somebody with the best roster is now. I mean, and the problem with him is he doesn't sacrifice enough. I don't think. Like he could have a lot of games where he only took 13 shots, and they would probably win by more because 11 of his shots are bad shots.
Well, that's what he did last playoffs. I felt.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely. I know. That's where I got my whole. That's why I started to give Tatum shit when we started this podcast. That was right after the playoffs. Yep.
And the last game in the championship, in the finals.
In the finals, he was off, but he was great. He was a great rebounder. He was a great assister. He was great at everything else. He was great at everything else we ask of a player. He didn't get to. That's the thing. How many players do you see? Like Brunson. Brunson, besides scoring, is useless. Sorry.
Yeah.
He is. There's nothing else he brings to it than shooting 27 times to get 35 points, and that's cool. But I've seen this record before. I've played it. I've listened to it a lot of times. It's called the Allen Iverson track. I've seen it. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I loved him because he was little, and I thought, yeah, the little guy going after it. But then I looked at it, I was like, damn, he was mad inefficient. He just took bad shots, and he made plenty. But it's cool. It don't win. So
he needs to use his surrounding cast more.
All right, so let's move on to what? We'll move on to the 3-4.
I'm finished with this
in
guy.
The the 3-6 in the East, which
3-6 in the Pistons and Knicks.
Yeah, 3-6 in the East. We'll move to Pistons and Knicks. We're shooting this on a Tuesday, so the Pistons stole home court advantage last night. Them along with the Clippers. We'll talk about that one soon too. It's cool that we get the best two series on like the same nights.
Yeah.
But we get nights like this where these are going to be probably rough. But the Pistons, I want to talk about Cade. Because I look at him playing Brunson.
Talk about him.
Well, what'd you think of the game? Go ahead. Give me some insight.
I thought you wanted to talk about Cade.
I do, but I want you to give me some insight on the game.
As far as Cade goes, I think that Cade is the best player in the series.
Agreed.
At least I think he thinks that as well. And last night I got home a little late, and I turned the TV on, and it was just Cade just you could just see him like walking to the line or something. And I was like, Cade's got that look. Cade's got that look. And I don't know if it's his look or whatever he's got, but he has had a look. So, and yeah, when he's aggressive like that and he attacks the rim full speed like that, that's kind of like what Halliburton is so good at too, is just attacking the rim more horizontally and finishing and, creating plays and whatnot more than being vertical. But when he had that play where he went behind the back and then into the lane and then dunked, like an extended reach dunk. It
was saucy. That's what they said.
Yeah, he was pretty efficient. The rest of the team around him played really well. And Durant had a really good bounce back game. Basically, he stayed out of foul trouble.
Reed is better down low than him. Reed had 3 that I saw that he caught down low, and then instead of just like going up wildly like a Sewer would, or even like Durant would sometimes, he ducked, picked, reestablished, and then put it up. And it was just it was timed. It wasn't stupid.
Reed
all 3 of them. And it was
Reed does put some really good minutes. We were talking about him last night as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
He came in and made a really big impact basically every time he was out there.
Yeah. There was, like I said, he had 3 perfect down low because they didn't get a ton of stuff down low. The thing it turned into a little bit more of a jump shooting competition, and a foul baiting competition on the Knicks side.
Yeah, I think.
And I just want to ask you real quick. Go ahead. We're gonna do a segment.
I think that if the Pistons can keep this up and play really good team ball and keep up that perimeter defense like that, they were closing out like they really, 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 really wanted to play. They're just playing really high level defense. I don't know. The only team I can think of when I think of the Pistons and defense is the 2004, 2005?
2004 Pistons?
What
that was when we won. Yeah, that's when we won the title.
Where they held like
that was it.
13,
the title
15
year
teams.
was the years of 13 in a row under 80 or under 90, something like that.
80, yeah. But
yeah, the thing about it is
really well. So, but I think if they can keep that up, that elixir, then I don't know, they might be able to steal. They might be able to steal some games.
Well, we never know when they
go home.
Stole the biggest game. They just stole home court advantage.
And they go home after their first win, first playoff win.
After their first win, that's what I'm saying. Stealing home court advantage right there. Like the teams you say right now have the biggest advantages. I mean, besides your big boys, you got OKC, of course, Celtics, all them. The teams that have the biggest advantages are the Clippers and the Pistons because they just stole home court advantage. They just stole it from those other teams. The Clippers, I have no surprise. I thought they would do that, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
As far as the Knicks,
Pistons stealing home court advantage.
They need to play better. They need to play better team ball. Brunson needs to get that ball moving. Because even at the end, they had a timeout, inbound, sideline. They got Brunson wide open on the left corner for a wide open three. And he hit it, but beautiful. Then they drew up another play a little bit later, and he just missed it. He was wide open. They had a pin in from the right to the left, and he caught it and wide open because his defender got screened and fell. So
we're Pistons fans, so I'm going to give the Pistons props. But I'm going to go ahead and just go in on the Knicks real quick because I picked the Knicks only because I see them having so much more talent than them. And I want the Pistons to win. That'd be great. I don't care. But watching the Knicks and watching Jalen Brunson is fucking excruciating. It is the worst basketball I've seen since prime James Harden. It is almost impossible to watch. Their offensive possessions have no ball movement whatsoever. Karl-Anthony Towns took his last shot with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left in the second quarter.
I'm done anyway.
It was his last shot. He had 10 points.
Second quarter.
Yep. So he didn't take a shot for, 24 plus 6? The last 30 minutes of the game in game time as far as, clock time. So they have no idea what they're doing on offense. They have no plan. They have no system. They have Jalen Brunson does what he does, and he can't pass out of a pick and roll. He is useless as far as that. I've seen this movie before. I've been telling everybody I've seen this before. You good?
Boring ass movie.
Yep.
Yeah, no. So what do you think?
So I'm looking at it like this. I think that they get out of this round maybe. But if the Pistons keep playing defense well and they just need, and all their shooters, all the things that I said were good, because we talked about it. I said Malik and Tim Hardaway Jr. would have to be good. They were terrible. They weren't that good. Malik had a couple of good plays here and there, but they were terrible, and they still won. Cade, as far as Cade goes, we're going to talk about Cade real quick, okay? So we're going to go number one pick, yes or no. And I really want you, I really want you to think about this, because I want you to think about who's who. All right, so number one pick in 2000 is Kenyon Martin. Yes or no?
Now, what am I saying yes or no to?
Just say, was he worth the number one pick? Because he didn't know anything. Not knowing anything about the rest of the draft. Yeah. Was he worth it? To a point. Yeah. I'd say yes, to a point, because you don't know. Kwame Brown.
No.
Yao Ming. Kind of got to say yeah. Got to say yes. LeBron.
No.
Yes. Dwight Howard. It's still yes, no matter how you feel about him. Andrew Bogut. I want to note that the only other great player in his draft that was even better than him was Chris Paul.
Yeah, I'll take the Bogut.
All right. He did have some good years in Minnesota. Andre Bargnani. No, it's a no. Greg Oden, it's a no. Derrick Rose, we have to say yes, even though I want to say no. Blake Griffin, got to be yes. John Wall.
Man.
It's tough.
I don't know. He's a heist. He's one of the big heisters. He's one of the big heist guys.
No, he's not the biggest, though, but yeah, he is. Kyrie.
Yep.
Okay. Anthony Davis.
Yep.
Anthony Bennett.
Who?
Right. Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins? Yeah.
Yeah. Karl-Anthony Towns.
Oh, my God.
Still,
what do you think?
I think it's yeah. I mean, If we're gonna if we're gonna say Andrew Bogut's a then Karl-Anthony Towns is a
Okay.
It's not
Fair
like
enough.
fucking like dude.
Fair enough.
Dude. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's true.
Okay, we get
Ben
it.
Simmons. All right.
Ben
All
Simmons?
right.
I don't know. He kind of gets made fun of all the time. So
Ben
I'm going to
Simmons
say
is a no. No. Markelle Fultz?
No.
Is a no, yeah. DeAndre Ayton going the same year as Luka and Trae Young.
I still don't know who that is for real. The last
he plays for Portland. He plays for Portland.
Okay. Holy shit.
Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought the top win shares from his draft was funny because it's Daniel Gafford.
Oh my god.
Anthony Edwards. Yeah.
Yep.
Cade Cunningham. And then Paolo Wemby and Risa Shea, I don't think we know about. But look, out of all those guys, besides Anthony Edwards and LeBron, is Cade Cunningham the one you feel the most comfortable with? Think about it.
It's funny because not at first. I mean, the first
but
he's
years, young.
People were like, man.
But he was 23 and 24. Okay.
And then last year he started it not great, and then they kind of picked it up as a team, and then he did.
Yeah.
Also, and then this year has just been.
Do you ever think that's maybe because he wasn't trying to play that type of ball that like LaMelo plays and shit? He was trying to play more of a team game, and so it was more failures because he passed it to guys that couldn't hit shots, and he turned it more into.
He didn't have anybody around him.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying because his team play is
Pistons
he looked at it that way.
Like teens and the shit. I was like, what the hell?
Right, but I didn't see him like necessarily trying to go for 40 all the time. I mean, yeah, he had some large games, but
I think he got stronger, and he still needs to get stronger.
He does. I saw him waving his arm around last night, and it was thinner than mine.
You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf.
It was. I swear to God. Anyway, he was like out of bounds, and he was going like this, and I was like, that dude's got some thin ass arms.
Yeah, I think he needs to get a little thicker. He just needs to get stronger.
So, is there any chance the Pistons get this series?
I think there is. I think it's about.
I do too.
I think it's like 41.26477812447
down to the last decimal. That's cool. Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you and just say that's cool. Whatever percentage you came up with, because I just feel like the Knicks list will be a perfect collapse for them.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Right. All right, let's move along. Bucks Pacers. Right now, the Pacers are still swatting them by 14 in the third. They swatted them in the first game. I don't see the Bucks still having enough of this. I said Pacers in 4 or Pacers in 5. I'm not surprised at all. I gave Giannis 2. I don't think Giannis gets 2. I think Giannis might get 1. I was being nice. What did you see in the first game of the Pacers and Bucks series?
I just think they're just too much for one guy, right. And even game 2 with Dame back and who else? Porter.
Well, Portis is playing all right.
Portis. Who else is back?
Bobby Portis Jr. Bobby Portis Jr. right now has 14 off the bench for them. Huh? Dame's back. He's got 11 in 21 minutes.
I just still think they're just still trying to find their way as a team. So probably by the first game at their house. Second half, maybe they'll figure it out and get rolling. Maybe a little too late, like JoJo said, but
I think it's too little too late right now, no matter what. And I think that Giannis is.
That is my jam, though. I love that song.
That's cool.
We just had didn't have copyright songs. I'd be playing it in the background right now.
I know you would. Yeah, I think that what that comes down to is. They thought this whole assist thing with Giannis would work, and you kind of thought it would work, and I just was like, well, the Pacers are a team.
Believed in it.
The Pacers are a team that pass to each other, like even if they're not just Giannis. So, like Halliburton is the guy that is the catalyst, but they all learn from that. They're all just like a better shot. And Miles Turner,
he's beast.
Pascal Siakam are not like bitches.
Both of them.
They're a good front line.
I was like, there was times where I was watching and wasn't watching it, and every time I would like listen, it'd be like Siakam with a 3. I was like, holy shit.
He's an excellent player, just not the like A plus guy, but he's good enough where with a team like that, when you have that many guys that are B plus to A, it's tough. They have a lot of attackers. They got a lot of guys that can shoot. They have a lot of good, their sets are run well. Rick Carlisle's a great coach. That's what you're seeing. Is Doc Rivers not a good coach? Nobody's ever tricked into that. So, so we're thinking, Pacers and what? Pacers in 5.
I think they win game 1 back at home.
Well, they won game 1.
No, Minnesota, I'm saying. Or Milwaukee, I'm sorry. I think they win game 1 back at home.
Oh, so they win game 3. Game 3. Got it. Okay.
But
so Pacers in 5.
Yeah, it's 5. Yep.
It's Pacers in 5. All right. Sounds good. I guess then let's
Pacers can kind of do a little damage as they move on. It's unfortunate. You want to see Giannis, go on, but I don't know if Pacers can win the next round, but I definitely think they can take it to, they can win probably a game or 2.
Honestly, if the Pacers shoot good, they could beat the Celtics. I don't care what anybody says. It comes down to who's shooting good and who's shooting bad. If one team shoots better in those two, now, the Celtics are like, the Pacers are a B plus to A minus team, and the Celtics are A plus of the exact same team, pretty much. They have almost the exact same team. It's very, very similar. The only difference is that I will give the Pacers have the little advantage, I think, actually, because their main guy's a catalyst rather than a shooter, and Jason Tatum is still a shooter rather than a catalyst. But Derek White and Drew Holiday are the main problems, and they will take Halliburton and whoever is Nemhart, they'll take those two. But there's still Siakam and they have a lot of options. That's all I'm saying. There's a ton of options on that Pacers team. Yeah. You never look down to it and be like, okay, we can guard all of them, because you can't guard all of them. Now, the guy who's not being guarded could have a bad night. Sure. But they have 2 guys usually that can score the ball on the floor at all times. They have 5 guys usually, but 2 guys if you're guarding 3 of them really well.
Yep.
So,
they're
interesting.
Mismatch nightmare, but matchup nightmare. Let's move on.
So OKC and John, and then Ja Morant and Triple J, the 2 laziest stars of all time.
Zach Edey
got blown out by 50.
Laps on them boys.
Got blown out by 50 with SGA not even really being involved in the game. They're up 70-52 right now in game 2. That's a wipe job, and Memphis is rebuilding at this point, in my opinion. They won't, but they should.
They should. They're so thin and top heavy, and their top heavy isn't even that heavy.
Do we fuck up with the Lakers? I said Lakers in 7. I think they'll make adjustments tonight and play well, but I'm not comfortable.
I mean, you could flip-flop it. I said Lakers in 6. But I think it can go either way. Which probably will be 7, but I'll stick with Lakers in 6.
No, I think Minnesota's going to win. I do. I think Minnesota's going to win in like 5. That is losing home court advantage the first night, looking like that, and kind of realizing that I wanted to do this other thing with you. We'll do it here in just a second, but actually, you know what? Might as well do it now. Let's bring the dogs out. All right, I want to talk about who has more dogs on their team real quick. So let's go Cleveland. We're just gonna go real quick down the line. We have Cleveland playing against damn it, I always forget the AC. The Heat. Okay, who has more dogs on their team? It's Cleveland, right? The Celtics have more dogs than the Magic, even though the Magic has 1 dog. And if Jalen Suggs was there, it'd be
2 dogs.
They got 2 dogs. What? Who? Wendell Carter Jr.? Huh?
They got a good. I think Franz is.
I don't think Franz is a dog. I don't think he is.
What's a good German dog?
I'm gonna say. Dobermans.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, they were used from the Nazis. That's what they used.
9.
The Celtics have more dogs than the Magic. I think that the Pacers have more dogs than the Bucks. Thunder have more dogs than the Grizzlies. And I think Timberwolves have more dogs than the Lakers.
Yeah.
The only one that I'm confused about, and I don't know if they do, is I think that Houston has more dogs, but I think Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green equal like 3 dogs apiece. So it's tough. You know what I mean?
And Curry's like, yeah.
Curry's got like
I'm gonna borrow some of your dogs.
He's got a half a labradoodle, you know.
Oh, yo, that's what we're gonna do. Y'all gonna let me borrow.
I don't shed, bro.
Y'all gonna let me borrow one of your dogs each. So then you're gonna have 2 each, and then I'm gonna have 2.5. So it's
I don't shed from 3 for this. So I just thought that's interesting. I think that Minnesota has more dogs than the Lakers. I just do. I'd like to see different, but I feel like the best case scenario for the Lakers was out the window, and they can't play Jackson Hayes, and I think that they're just too small, and they weren't ready this year, and I think that everybody overhyped them because of the end of the season. I think I was wrong.
We'll see tonight.
I'm taking Minnesota. I'm changing my pick. And I'll be happy if the Lakers win because I'm a LeBron fan, but I'm taking Minnesota. I think they're going to win the series. I'm overreacting on that series. That's it. But I guess we'll move along. Well, I mean, what did you see that made you confident? So Minnesota hits a record number of threes, right? 21 threes, most they've ever hit. And they shot 21 out of 42. They shot 50% from 3. Ryan Russillo went, and they were saying that basically it was like everybody was like, hell yeah, let's go. And then Minnesota just hit threes for an hour and a half, and they were like, all right. It's like, this isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be.
I just think it was their first playoff game, I'm sorry. At home. I think when you play at home, you have way more expectation on you as a team than on the road. And especially
but if you're a 3 versus 6, I think a 3 versus 6 needs to deal with that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they're better than they were last year, maybe just because of, they have more experience. And
who's that? Minnesota? Absolutely.
They are championship.
And when Xavier McDaniel plays great, they play great. They're fantastic.
Yeah. They might have a 6 next to their name in the bracket, but they're pretty fucking good.
They are.
So,
I'm changing my pick on
It's going to take a perfect game. It's going to take a perfect series for Lakers to beat them because it's a tough matchup.
It is. And Rudy Gobert didn't get played off the court.
Nope.
I mean, I think he played for half the time, but still half the time is half the time.
Yeah.
So let's move on, I guess. Houston and Golden State. What do you got?
Houston and Golden State. Just an experience on the Houston side. Number 2 seed with big responsibility. With
great power comes great responsibility.
Great responsibility, yes.
Yeah.
And that's just tough. It's tough to handle that. Sometimes you just don't really know how to, and it can be overwhelming. And they can like Curry especially, but the Warriors in general, they can be an avalanche. And Curry was hitting some incredible shots, some circus kind of threes, not looking at the rim and shit, and pulling up.
It's weird because we say they're like an avalanche, but it's funny. They're not now because like they'll hit like 3 straight threes. They'll hit like I know that. No, I know it's the swing of. It's demoralizing. I get that, but I'm saying like when he hits 3 straight threes now, it's like they came back from a 6-point lead and now they're up 62-61.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I'm saying? It seems like it's not like they were tied 51-51 and then he hit 4 straight threes and now they're up 82-61. You know what I mean? It's not like the runs that they used to go on because they don't have that extra guy because Jimmy Butler's not going to be flaming away from 3. The only 3-point shooter they have, it really is Steph Curry. I
think if Houston can see through all the magic dust and shit and all that, just like the Celtics had to eventually. It took them, a whole year and a whole offseason. But once they did, they were like, oh, shit, man. Okay, we can beat these guys. But that first year they played it's tough.
I feel bad about my Houston pick. I feel bad about my Houston pick. I think that the Warriors could win, but I think there's going to be a night coming up where the Rockets look so much better than them. We're going to be like, damn, because they're going to out athletic them one of these nights, and we're just going to be like, holy shit, like they're going to beat them by 35. They will one of these games. It's not over. They stole game 1, and that was the best one for them to steal. They needed it for who they are and everything. It was like they need that game.
Yeah, game 2 is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. All right, let's talk about the best series so far, and probably the best series that I've watched. 2 games into the series. It's the best series I've watched in the last.
Feels like 3 games.
5. Yeah, 5. It feels like a whole series. It's the best I watched in the last 5 years. It's Nuggets. It's Clippers. The first game was tight, went into overtime. Westbrook, the worst decision maker and the best decision maker. I found it interesting. The 3 that he hit in the first game to tie the game, when Jokic made that play, it was one of the plays that people would shit on LeBron for making because the dude wouldn't hit the shot.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you watch him, he wants to play perfect. He wants to play perfect basketball.
Jokic is goes out of his way to get Westbrook the ball or get him involved, and it's just like.
I think that he knows though that 6 out of 10 times it does work. It's just trying it 60 but in the heat of the moment, I think 3 out of 10 times, because right after he hits that shot, they come back down. There's 16 total seconds left, 13 seconds left on the shot clock, and I think they were tied or ahead. I think they were tied. They're tied.
Yeah.
Okay. And 13 seconds left on the shot clock. He decides that he catches it down low and he decides to try and charge into a guy and throw it up some wild shot to try and draw a foul. And it was why not back it out and get it to the best player in the world? And maybe with 13 seconds left, he can make something happen. I mean, that's what I would do. But that's why we said he's the worst decision maker on the team. And I said to people, I'm like, if you think Russell Westbrook's going to be closing games for you and you like that, then you're sadly going to be, it's going to hurt.
You're going to be disappointed.
I promise you'll be disappointed. I promise 100%. Because he'll do that shit, be trying to be a hero all the time. And that's his main weird.
So disappointed.
Yeah. So Kawhi played terrible.
That's no sock in my crotch.
Yeah. Sophisticated mama. Okay. So Kawhi played bad the first game, 7 turnovers. And then came out game 2 and put on the most walking bucket shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I have never, since Jordan, I have never seen a mid-range shooting display, a 3, everything. It just all was going. He wasn't driving, but 3 times and 2 times back-to-back possessions, he literally got on the right side of the free throw line, right there, just between the wing and the
baseline,
restricted area, basically. Yeah, baseline right off the free throw line, and just hit 2 with guys right on each side of him, both times. Boom, boom, and it's damn, he's hot. And he hit one at the end of the half that he lost the ball, turned back around, looked up at the clock, turned, pumped, bam, with 3 guys just surrounding it. It was one of the most insane.
In traffic. It's a real skill, man. Catching in traffic.
San Antonio's shooting coach who taught him how to shoot his jump shot deserves so much goddamn credit.
That's a goddamn award.
I want to say real quick, I think one thing, if you watch carefully, that the Clippers coaching staff is focusing on, they're focusing on trying to stop Jokic from doing that catch where he catches it by the free throw line and then just has to make one pass.
Yep. And
a lot of times when he catches by the free throw line, most teams will double him right then, and they're not doubling him like that. Now they're doubling him when he puts the ball on the deck. So as soon as he makes his move, they double him. They don't double him before that to let that other cross run backwards or run backdoor and get a cheat. So that's what I've been noticing they're doing. They're instead of getting him on the catch, they're doubling him on his move, and that is that's working.
Feel comfortable then doubling him.
Yep. And Michael Porter Jr. played better game 2. He got ostracized game 1, and I
feel
still
bad because I call them their worst decision maker. Then he's just standing there.
Kind of is.
On the sideline. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But we have to.
If Russell Westbrook wasn't on their team, he would have been right. So, yeah, I think that I'm fascinated to see where this series goes. I still got the Clippers.
Well, nothing else took his spot. He took his minutes.
No, last night he closed.
No, the other night. I'm saying game 1.
Yeah, he did. He let him close game 1. That's because Porter Jr. wasn't trying. He
started rebounding.
Yeah, he didn't start rebounding until he had a bunch of tip-ins. He did a bunch of shit last night that was great. I was impressed. But Like, if we have to call you out to do it, then who are you?
Like, this is for my brother.
Yeah, he bet the over. Is that bad? Is that bad? Is that bad?
That ain't my brother.
That shit is not cool. Wait. Anyway, so when it comes down to it, I really didn't change my mind on anything except for Minnesota. I think they're going to beat the Lakers. I think Houston still has a chance to beat the Warriors, so I'm going to stick with that pick. Yeah, either way, I'm gonna go down to the hell of gunfire on that one because I don't want the Warriors to win. But also, there's a lot of people saying that side of the bracket's just locked. I thought if Minnesota won, they would play Houston or play OKC. Is that not true? Or if the Warriors win, shouldn't they play?
It's always just the worst.
So that's because people are like, they're on the right side of the bracket. I'm like, but if they are the 7th seed and they move along and no one is lower than them, they play OKC.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought because I was looking back at it. I'm like, am I confused? If it stays on the side, we're gonna have a major talk with Adam Silver. I'll call him.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's I know because in the NFL, I know it's a seeding thing as well.
It is, yeah. The guy, yeah, it always should be.
What would I know?
Me neither. Got one in. It was a good one. We got to talk about everything. All right. This has been episode 64 of Two Gents Talking Sports and Shit. We will come out with some draft material and here and there. Want to tell you to follow, subscribe. Thank you all for listening. We love you so much, and we really appreciate you as far as that goes. Should have said at the beginning. We got to start opening with that. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Peace.
Gentlemen.
Pressure makes diamonds or coal.
Gentlemen.
Diamonds are coal, yeah.
Gentlemen.
Pressure makes diamonds or coal.
Gentlemen.
Diamonds are coal, yeah. It's just two dudes being gents talking sports.
That's what I love about Wyatt. He can talk himself into anything.